Okay, so here we go with game 3 of this semi-final between Matticus and Ollie, and this time we're on Eternal Empire. I like Eternal Empire as a map. It tends to lead to some pretty epic games. You've got the natural, as always, is relatively easy to hold, but so is the third. Even though there are quite a few attack paths in, it's not too bad a map to get up to 3 bases, and even 4 bases is reasonably okay. So it's a map that lends itself to big old macro games and you know, proper war, basically, with huge armies going into battle. I'll see if I can do the scoreboard thing. We are best of 5, and Ollie, no, not Matticus, Ollie has won the first 2 games. So those first couple, you know, there was no kind of funky stuff, no weird trickery. Ollie pretty much played straight up and just with good solid play, pushed out across the map, and on both occasions had enough to get into the production of Matticus and prevent him from coming back into the game. In the last game in particular, there was certainly a time when Matticus was ahead in army supply, but he chose, I don't know, arguably chose some dubious engagements. Fighting up a ramp is always difficult, so you do have to have overwhelming numbers. But yeah, some of the timings on those upgrades, it was just a little bit unfortunate. There was certainly moments in the game where if he'd have chosen a better engagement, he potentially could have won the game for sure. So we'll see how this one goes. Obviously this is at best, oh, just in time. That is beautiful. Blocks the probe from getting in, so this probe won't get any information about how much gas is being mined, won't know if there are sneaky buildings over here or anything like that. So that's all good. Yeah, where's this fella going? Oh, proxy pylon. Pylon in this location could be one of 2 things. Commonly it might be a Stargate that you would build here that'll greatly reduce, you know, the reason you would do that is to get an oracle out from, and there's 2 benefits to it. Benefit number 1 is that the oracle has less distance to cover, so you can potentially get the oracle into your opponent's mineral line much sooner. That isn't going to be the case here because Ollie doesn't actually have a side core yet, so there's not going to be any time advantage. The other bonus to building it in the other side of the map is that if your opponent scouts your base, they don't see it, so you're basically just hiding that tech choice from your opponent by building it here. As it happens though, with still, you know, the side core only recently started for Ollie. It's going to be a long time before he can build anything other than gateways there, and I don't think this is going to be any sort of gateway rush. The other option, of course, is to build a robo here when the side core finishes up. If you build a robotics facility, you can build immortals out of that. You can build a warp prism out of that. You can use the warp prism to carry the immortals into the base here, get a bit of damage done, and then get out again. I'm not really sure why you would build a cannon there. That just doesn't seem like a sensible thing at all. This isn't an area that you're going to look to defend. It's an area that you're going to look to harass from. So once again, Matticus with 3 racks, 2 with reactors, 1 with the tech lab, is going to allow him to get a reasonable number of units out. There's no expo for Matticus, so you would have to suspect that he is going to hope to do some game-ending damage. He is moving across the map, and as you can see, 15 army supply to 6, but do bear in mind that includes units that are in production. It includes units that are on their way across the map, but on the other side of the map, there's only going to be 2 zealots and 1 stalker. Combat shield is just going to finish up here. Whoops. And has just finished up. So the timing of this is better than previously. I think there's enough here. You know, the 2 marauders in the mix will make a lot of difference. They start shooting. You know, this zealot should get picked off really before it can do any damage. The stalker isn't going to last long against this sort of damage output either. When this zealot goes down, there's basically nothing left. So if you're Matticus, what do you do right now? What should be your focus? For me, it would be this pylon. Take out that pylon, and your opponent cannot build any fighting units, and that is problematic, or at least can build far fewer. This is about to finish up. As it happens, Matticus is going to focus on this Nexus, and that's not a bad result either. You know, you don't have to commit to any more if you're Matticus right now, you can just say, well, I'll forfeit these units that I've sent in exchange for a Nexus and just go home and focus on macroing. But he has more than enough army to simply finish the game here, and I think that's what he's going to do. He's going to march in here. If he picks off this pylon, there's basically nothing powering these gateways, and there's no way this one stalker is going to do much about this many units. So it looks like Matticus is just about to redress the balance. There's nothing bizarre. Really? There's nothing bizarre on the other side of the map that is going to dig Ollie out of this hole. So many workers dead. You know, he's running, but really the game is over. You're not going to get anything done from here. It is pretty much impossible to see any way back into this, because he has no cunning tech that's going to dig him out of that hole. So Matticus pulls one back, and it is 2-1.